it is time for no half-step in hockey coverage. So let me deliver the goods. It's operation number 733 for the Renegades of Puck. I see it now. Time for operation number 733 for the Renegades of Puck. Now, at this moment in hockey history, as we're heading into home base freakout 2, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division. They've skated in 69 games. Nice. They have a record of 35, 26, and 8. That's good for 78 points on the season. They have a home record, which is where their next game will take place, of 17, 12, and 4. On the season, they've scored 198 goals. They've given up 205 goals against. That's a goal differential of -7. Now, let's go over the Central Division because we need to keep up on these things. But let's then talk about the most important race, which is the wild card for the Nashville Predators, which they are still very much alive in after tonight's action. The Minnesota Wild are in first place in the Central Division. They have 90 points. The Dallas Stars have fallen to second with 89 points. Colorado Avalanche in third with 88 points. So 3 teams top of the Central Division, separated by 2 points. Then, big drop off, the Winnipeg Jets at 83 points, and then the Nashville Predators at 78. St. Louis is currently at 68. Arizona is at 65, and the Chicago Blackhawks have the Little League next, and they're eliminated. They have 54 points. Now, the wild card in the Western Conference, currently led by the Nashville Predators' next 2 opponents. That's right, a 2-game series against the Seattle Kraken coming up. Seattle has 85 points after securing their victory tonight over Dallas. Winnipeg holds the second wild card spot with 83 points. They also picked up a victory tonight. Calgary Flames picked up a victory over the Anaheim Ducks, so they sit 1 spot behind Winnipeg, just on the outside looking in at 79 points, 4 points back. Then the Preds are behind Calgary with 78 points. The Preds have skated in 3 fewer games than the Calgary Flames. The Preds have also skated in 3 fewer games than the Winnipeg Jets and sit 5 points back. So we are very much in the same scenario that we were in for the last couple of days. The Nashville Predators just need to continue trying to take care of their business. It's going to be very difficult against the Seattle Kraken, but an 8-point swing is what could potentially be on the line between the Preds and the Kraken. So if the Preds are able to somehow sweep the Seattle Kraken in the next 2 games, so the Preds would find their way up to 82 points, and Seattle would remain at 85 points. That would put the Nashville Predators within reasonable striking distance of both wild card teams. So a lot on the line coming up for the Nashville Predators. So that's an update on the standing Central Division and the wild card. So now let's talk about this Nashville Predators Seattle Kraken 2-game series, and it's split in the middle by Home Base Freakout 2 on Friday night, and the Pekka Rinne statue unveiling on Saturday morning on the Plaza. So, Nashville Predators against the Kraken on Thursday night, Home Base Freakout 2 on Friday. Saturday, the statue unveiling on the Plaza, and the Seattle Kraken in an afternoon matinee game. Sunday, the Toronto Maple Leafs are in town. So, that is one hell of a 4-day hockey stretch for everyone here in the Middle Tennessee area. And the Nashville Predators will be back on the road next Tuesday in Boston, wrap up the month of March in Pittsburgh. Now, the series between the Kraken and the Nashville Predators, they've skated 1 time against each other this year. They'll go back-to-back right now, but it was back on November the 8th when the Preds went into Seattle for their one and only visit this year, and they lost 5-1. It was Eberle with 2 goals, Burkowski with a goal and an assist, and Forsberg had the only goal for the Nashville Predators. UC Saros pulled early in that game, only 2 out of 6, one of his easily worst performances of the entire season. Now, before we talk about the Kraken and the matchup and the numbers specifically, we need to update Nashville Predators' injury situation because, well, it has been getting worse. But at least there was one bright spot. McDonough came off the injured list and moved back into the roster, and we'll talk about his performance in just a couple of minutes. But the captain, Roman Josi, did not make the trip to New York or Buffalo. They're both in New York. I am aware of that, but I'm talking about the New York Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres. Did not make the trip to either of those games. Philip Forsberg is still listed as day-to-day. Parson Carrier still listed as day-to-day. Johansson is out for the remainder of the season. Now, the Seattle Kraken, I mentioned already, they're placed in the wild card race with 85 points, but in the Pacific Division, they currently hold the 4th spot. They have a record of 39, 24, and 7, 85 points overall. On the road, though, I want you to pay attention to this highly impressive number in case you're getting any delusions of how the weekend may go. 23, 9, and 3. 23 victories on the road this season for the Seattle Kraken. They have a goal differential of plus 18. Now, it has been a mix of results in their last stretch of 5 games. As we always like to go back and talk about that sample size. On the 11th of March, it was a 4-3 overtime loss. And you're going to hear Dallas a lot in this situation. It was a 4-3 overtime loss versus Dallas back on March 11th. On the 13th, a 5-2 loss versus Dallas. On the 16th, a 2-1 overtime win at San Jose. Followed it up on the 18th with a 6-4 loss versus Boston. And then most recently, meaning just a few minutes ago, they wrapped up a 5-4 overtime victory at Dallas. So the Kraken have played the Dallas Stars in 3 of their last 5 games. That is significant competition for them to going up against, up and down, all over the place on the score sheet. 4-3, 5-2, 2-1, 6-4, and 5-4. So I have no idea what's going to happen. I know the Kraken are a hell of a good road team, and they've got a very good offense, and that's reflected in their rankings in the season. 4th best goals for in the season, 3.50, while the Nashville Predators sit at 26 in the league, 2.81 goals per game. In the goals against category, the Nashville Predators 2.94 is 12th, while the Kraken 3.20 is 17th. Shots for the Nashville Predators are generating 30.2 shots per game. That's 23rd. Well, guess what? Seattle also generating 30.2 shots per game. That's exactly tied with the Preds, but the Preds give up an incredible amount of shots. The Preds give up 33.2 shots against per game. That's 27th in the NHL. I want you to compare this to the Seattle Kraken's shots against, 27.7 per game. That's 3rd best overall in the entire league. When it comes to special teams, you're not going to find an impressive power play in either of these matchups. The power play for the Preds, 18.1%, is 26th overall in the league, 38 out of 210 power play opportunities. The Kraken are 23rd power play in the NHL. They've converted 39 times on 202 opportunities, or 19.3%. When it comes to the penalty kill, the Kraken's penalty kill, not very good. Giving up 52 power play goals against in the season, 74.4% is their kill rate. 27th is their NHL ranking. The Nashville Predators, though, impressive penalty kill as of late. 11th overall in the NHL now for the season. They've given up 42 power play goals against in the season. They have a kill rate of 81.7%, and it's been relied upon quite a bit as of late, and they have been finding a way to come through. When it comes to individual statistics for each of these teams, we all know every team in the NHL has plenty of high-skilled individuals. We like to take a look at the top 5 individual scores for each team. Let's start with the visiting Seattle Kraken first. Dunn leads the Kraken in total points with 57. The breakdown is 13 goals and 44 assists. The 44 assists represents the number 1 overall on the team in that category. McCann, 34 goals. That represents the high for goals scored on Seattle at 22 assists. That for 56 points, 2nd overall on the team. Eberle at 16 and 38 for 54. Beniers 19 and 30 for 49. And Yanni Gourde 11 and 32 for 43 points on the season. Martin Jones in net, a record of 24, 12, and 3, but the rest of his numbers not very good. 887 save percentage, 3.06 goals against average, but a very impressive win-loss record at 24, 12, and 3. Obviously, that means the goaltender perhaps not so great, but the team in front of him is considerably good. Now, for the home team, Nashville Predators, still led by the captain, Roman Josi. Not sure if he is going to be in this game. He did miss the last 2 games. Was said that he was getting potentially very close to being back in the lineup. Not sure if that means Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Not sure exactly what that means. We also heard that with Philip Forsberg. In the stats area, Roman Josi still leads the team in scoring, 18 goals and 41 assists for 59 points. The 41 assists is the overall team lead in assists. Matt Duchene has now solo claimed the goals lead for the Nashville Predators, now with 21 on the season, eclipsing Philip Forsberg. It was mighty goal drought for Matt Duchene now, but 2 in this most recent game moves him up to 21. 33 assists for 54 points. Philip Forsberg still listed as day-to-day. Would love to see him back on the lineup. With all this youth and all this exuberance and enthusiasm, Phil Forsberg scoring punch sure could help a lot. 19 goals, 23 assists for 42 points. Tommy Novak, 14 and 18 for 32 points on the season. Colton Sissons 11 and 16 for 27. UC Saros now 27th victory of the season with his most recent win. 19 and 7 is the rest of the records. So 27, 19 and 7, a 9.17 save percentage, a 2.76 goals against average. So UC Saros continues putting up very good numbers for this Nashville Predators team. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators versus the Seattle Kraken. We've got the Rebirth Sports full game recap coming up next, right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the